if we don't create a culture that allows creativity, then all we will ever have is what we had yesterday.
If we're not able to bring that playful demeanor to it, attitude, then we're going to have a really hard time finding those creative solutions that are what really blow the doors open and let us have those innovative solutions.
Like I have to just tell you, as an employer, I'm always asking myself the question, okay, how far do I go with this conversation? How far do I go with this piece of information with one of my employees? How much do I share? How much do I not? Because I want to have a great relationship, but I also don't want to endanger the fact that we have an effective working relationship. And so that I think those are waters always to be navigated by an employer, particularly.
Yes. What is the business value? And here again, I'll ask you both for you as a business and as you're working with people on their businesses through the books, and then also in terms of the business of the book, of creating these cultures where people are bringing as much of their full self in as they want to be bringing.
Well, I mean, you've got to think about it. If we don't create a culture that allows creativity, then all we will ever have is what we had yesterday. All we'll ever have is the status quo. And sometimes the status quo is good, and that's what we need. Sometimes in times of trouble, it's good to have the status quo, but we'll never advance the company. We'll never advance our businesses, and we won't advance our staff if everything has to be the status quo. One of the phrases that just rankles me, and I understand it, and I've said it a million times myself, but when somebody proposes a new idea and someone else responds with, well, yeah, but that's the way we've always done it. And, someone will say, hey, we need to change this. We need to do this process differently. And someone says, no, but that's the way we've always done it. Like, that is some objective reason to continue to do it. We've always done it this way, so automatically we should always do it this way going forward. And if you have a culture where people are afraid to share and afraid to go deeper, then that's all you will ever get is, well, we've always done it that way. That's the way we're going to always do it. Even if that means driving you and the company and the employees into the ground. So instead, I just feel like we should always be evaluating, okay, yes, we've always done it that way. Why did we choose to do it that way? Because that may still be the way to do it, right? Did we make a positive choice to do it that way in the past because we needed to? And do the same limitations and things like that exist to cause us to continue to do it that way? Or have the variables changed and have the opportunities changed? And do those cause us to reevaluate doing something in a different way? So yeah, that phrase kills me. And yet I can tell you, Michael, I've used it plenty of times myself. But that's where I think culture really benefits us, is if we can move beyond it's the way we've always done it.
You're the first person I've heard describe it that way. And I really like this distinction of, if we aren't able to be creative, then it's really challenging, maybe impossible, to move the business forward, to move our career forward, to move the project that we're working on forward. If the solution was obvious, we wouldn't need a team full of smart people to find a way to solve it.
Yeah, you're right. We could have just automatons doing everything, because that's the way we've always done it.
This idea of creativity is necessary to move the business forward is a really good reason to bring play into the workforce and into the work of writing a book. That if we're not able to bring that playful demeanor to it, attitude, then we're going to have a really hard time finding those creative solutions that are what really blow the doors open and let us have those innovative solutions.
Yeah, you make me think of, Michael, how, of course, it became the stereotype of the .com era to have these workplaces where you had ping pong tables and foosball tables and beanbag chairs and and all these unstructured spaces and unstructured time in order to foster that creativity. But I don't know that that's necessary to create that creativity, right? I mean, it's at its core, it's got to be from a leadership standpoint of not poo-pooing creativity, of not of some leaders are very very capable of going, nope, I like the way we've done it. We're going to just keep doing it that way. It's worked for X number of years. It's going to continue to work. Let's keep going that way. And sometimes those decisions, of course, are appropriate. But if that's the way you always respond to everything, you're never going to get that great idea that totally improves the paradigm in your company. And your employees are going to quit coming to you with ideas because they're like, oh, no. They just say no every time, so I'm not coming to them with this amazing idea or invention I just thought of.
And the way that we have always done things isn't the way we have always done things, because at some point the business didn't exist, and so no one was doing things this way. So the way that
is a great way to say it.